No hat or hat?
You look like a murderer.
Really? Like a pedophile murderer?
Like a serial killer.
Yeah.
I think it's because like your shirt is unbuttoned a little bit and you look crazy. Hey, are we all here?
Let me take attendance. Nicole.
Mark.
All right, let's get into it. So, what's up, everybody, and welcome to ChallengeXpress. Chew. Probably should do it that way. And yeah, we're here to recap episode 13 of Total Madness. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment on the video. Let us know what your thoughts are on the episode. Let us know what your thoughts are on our opinions on the episode. We want to conversate with y'all. Ugh, y'all. All right. But yeah, I am Tom, joined by my co-host Nicole. What's going on, Nicole?
Hello. Just getting my notes ready.
Whoa, no notes anymore. So.
Don't have the best memory.
Yeah, right? I would not be able to do that.
I remember things really well that I don't need to remember. But if I do remember it, no.
And it's like, wait, what happened in elimination again? I have to rewatch, take notes on each round.
I also like writing down quotes from people because I would never remember them. Anyway,
yeah, quotes are an important factor in podcasts because especially on this show, we get some dumbass quotes. But yeah, so where should we start? I mean, right off the bat, a bunch of scenarios are getting thrown out about who's going into elimination for the 3 remaining females without a red skull, being Melissa, Bayleigh, and Nany.
Yeah, I guess let's get into the drama that kind of revolves around the 3 of them. And then it kind of goes into like the Nany Kaycee stuff. So, but I mean, to begin with the 3 girls without red skulls, that's definitely what's on everybody's mind. I think Bayleigh is automatically I think she was worried from the beginning, even before they kind of let the audience know, because I think I don't know if they showed us as much as like it kept getting brought up that Bayleigh isolated herself from the rest of the house. I mean, we kind of saw that, but I have a feeling it was more than what we saw.
I mean, and we even heard Anissa during the tribunal interrogation. She was like, everybody in the tribunal interrogations kind of picked Kaycee's side. I don't know if that's just because they like Kaycee more or whatnot, but we heard Anissa say that Bayleigh chose Swaggy and Wes instead of everybody else. Like, she just chose those 2 people, thought, and was going to stick out the whole game with those 2 people because it was working.
Yeah, but but even Wes, if he has like 2 people, like you have to have other things in motion. You can't rely on 1 or 2 people because they could leave. You need to be on good terms with more than just 2 people.
Yeah, and maybe they thought that, maybe being from Big Brother, they thought that, going into a house with an alliance, they didn't need to like talk to anybody else. They knew who they were aligned with and they would make it to the end. I'm not sure.
Ultimately, though, it ended up it may end up costing her. We'll see.
Yeah, it's funny because it feels like she's off the season, right?
It does, but next on they said double elimination. So every single girl is going to get a chance, it sounds like.
Yeah, but it's a guy's elimination. Now, does that mean it's 2 guys' eliminations, or does that mean we're getting a guy's elimination and a women's elimination?
Okay, even if it is a guy's double elimination, there's 2 guys left. So you're basically giving everybody an opportunity to
Yeah, and that's something I was worried about and that we were talking about. This whole Red Skull, you better get your Red Skull. You don't want to be left behind. No one has the chance to be left behind.
Right now, there's one girl without a Red Skull. Wait, yeah, there's one without and two guys without. It should
And
be
we're
over.
probably going to get like 4 more eliminations. Like,
Well, we're getting at least two more, and in my opinion, it's too many. Like there's a point. Like you gotta cut it. Like they didn't get one. That's it. Would you be upset if Josh, Kyle, and Bayleigh didn't get to the final? No, none of them really tried to get a Red Skull. Yeah. Josh had an opportunity multiple times. Kyle had an opportunity, and he's like, I don't really want to do it. Bayleigh could have done it. Like,
it was supposed to be the biggest twist of all time, but honestly, it was a placebo twist. It meant nothing.
It could be a twist if they ended it now. If they said, all right, that's it. And I think they should do a purge of everybody who does have Red Skulls. I think they should purge one person out of each, or like maybe there's 5 girls and there's 5 guys. Yeah. So maybe they should purge one out of it. I don't know.
I would agree. Yeah, 10 people in a final would be too much. Yeah, we also heard rumors of a purge. We haven't seen a purge yet this season, so it's pretty likely with the amount that they have been using purges in the past. You know, like almost like 2 a season. So we'll likely see that.
But I mean, I guess so. Back to Nany, you can kind of tell.
Real quick before we get into that, we see Corey. He obviously gets his Red Skull from last episode. Yeah. Now the new TYB is Corey and Nelson. That scene was hilarious. I just wanted to think of names for them, so I got the 3 Muscleteers.
Yep. Oh.
I got TY Boys in the Bunker.
Okay. Okay. I like Muscleteers because like there were some tears by Corey. I wish more of them cried because then that would have been like if Josh was in the group, then it would be definitely.
Oh yeah. And they just seem like with Nelson's haircut. Yeah, it just like a Motown group. Like Fessy's got the deep voice, Nelly's got the high voice, and then Corey is just in the middle there.
But then Fessy too got the little man bun, so like they all had like new dues, and they just like I don't know, I love them. It's great.
Yeah, I was like, get together, boy band, right now. But yeah, like you were alluding to, we get a little even deeper look at Nany and Kaycee's relationship.
Wow, yeah, this was entertaining to watch.
Yeah, it was hypnotizing.
It was entertaining to watch the whole Kaycee Bayleigh stuff get uncovered, and everybody was just like, "Oh my gosh!" Like, I mean, I don't know, where do I begin? I have so much to say about it all.
So I mean, Nany and Kaycee are very hands-on with each other.
Okay, so did you catch? Nany said something about we've kissed a little bit, and then Kaycee goes a lot of it.
Yeah.
So it sounded
I think they edited that to make it. We missed Nany saying, "I want to kiss you."
Right. It could have been editing, but however they edited it, it did sound like that they were admitting that they've kissed. So who knows? But
yeah, I mean, the kissing on the cheeks and the neck, that's cheating.
That's cheating. Yeah. Yeah. I like how Corey, ex-player, makes a comment about Kaycee having player vibes, and I was like, ooh, a player knows a player. Like,
yeah, exactly. That's what I wrote. I mean, you got to take Corey's word for it. He's had a lot of experience.
And then I like Anissa's take on all this, because she's a sex therapist in real life, I believe.
Oh, shoot. I didn't know that.
I think so.
Just making things up?
If I just made that up, I don't know where that came. I'm pretty sure she is. A quick Google search could probably solve that. But I think she is. I think that's what she went to school for. And it was kind of interesting. She's just such a voice of reason this season.
I know.
Like, whenever she talks, she's just I love hearing her talk. She just has such a clear perspective on everybody's different situations. And
She doesn't try to use bias. She just tries to use like facts around her. She's just letting Kaycee know what everybody is saying and thinking.
Yeah, she's just using reason, and it's just like, I don't know, it's nice. But
yeah. And I liked when Aneesa said, even if it's nothing, it could destroy a relationship.
Yeah.
You know? No, but it does seem like something. I think it's something.
Oh yeah, it's something. You know, what do you think about Bayleigh, the Bayleigh Kaycee argument, where Bayleigh's like, you flirted with me, you were definitely flirting with me, we had something more than a friendship happening, and Kaycee was like, what are you talking about? I originally thought that Kaycee was lying to make herself, you know, she didn't want herself to look bad because she has a girlfriend. And also, like, if Kaycee does have player vibes, I could see her lying, whereas Bayleigh has nothing to lie about. She's engaged, she doesn't, there's nothing to gain from it. Mm-hmm. But then Feisty was like, Bessie kind of confirmed it. He was like, no, Kaycee, like, Bayleigh.
It was strictly on a friend basis.
I know.
Although he did say they did spend a lot of time together, but it was part of Kaycee's game, perhaps.
Yeah.
I think Bayleigh exaggerated it a lot. I think maybe Bayleigh was catching feelings. Kaycee just wanted to flirt and have fun. And maybe it seemed like Bayleigh was holding on to some unresolved feelings for Kaycee.
Definitely. Bayleigh was falling apart in this episode. Like,
the bunker turned her inside out.
Between losing Fessy and, I mean, Swaggy, and being in a bunker, and like, she doesn't like, you can just tell she doesn't like the challenge, right? So she's probably miserable as it is. She said Swaggy was my game plan. Like, those were her words. And it's like, oh, that's not how you play the challenge, you know? And so losing Fessy and then Swaggy. Right?
Swaggy's so unmemorable, you just forget him. Yeah.
I just keep thinking of him.
That's a first. You keep thinking of Fessy?
Yeah. But yeah, she's falling apart. And you're right. Maybe she did catch feelings for Kaycee, and then now, like, she's kind of coming to terms, or like it's getting brought back up.
Yeah, I mean, I looked up the season that they were together, and it was Big Brother. Actually, I forget what season it was, but it was from 2018. This season aired late 2019, so a year. That's not too long, I suppose. I also saw a clip from somebody posted. Is like, this is proof that Bayleigh was telling the truth. And it's a clip on Big Brother, and it's just Kaycee and Bayleigh flirting. It was said that they slept together in the same bed the first night, but honestly, after that, the video didn't entail anything that furthered their relationship. It was just them flirting, and Kaycee telling Bayleigh that she was her type. But, I mean, that was like the extent of it.
I'm sure in Kaycee's mind, she's just didn't take it as seriously as Bayleigh was, which is kind of like, what's the word? I don't know if it's manipulative, but it might have been a little manipulative, like kind of telling Bayleigh what she wants to hear, maybe for her gameplay, maybe just because she got a thrill off of it, like
her attention or something. Yeah. A beautiful girl. Bayleigh is a beautiful woman, like probably.
I was looking at her Instagram, like I already thought she was pretty, but like, holy shit, she's freaking gorgeous. Like,
yeah. And it's like, Bayleigh, you have Swaggy though. Like, why are you getting jealous like this?
Swaggy's Instagram, on the other hand, is a little awkward.
Swaggy is awkward. Let's be honest. Like,
how about one of my favorite moments of this episode? Talk about like Team Young Buck, like Nelson and Corey, man, and they're just like, Nelson has had some down moments, but like him talking to Bayleigh when she was upset, that was
ray of sunshine.
Oh my god, it was beautiful. He was just like, it was so genuine, and he didn't need to do that, and he's not really close with Bayleigh. It was just like a very human moment of him being like, you know, this is a game, you don't need to be alone, like you could talk to, it was just so nice.
And honestly, Bayleigh was getting support from the house pretty much the whole episode, and she kind of ostracized herself, it seemed like.
Definitely. I mean, since we're talking about that during the House vote, come on,
it was so pathetic, right?
That's not, yeah, you don't put on a pouty face and just like go like this. You need to fight. Give somebody a speech. Like,
she almost won the freaking vote and she didn't even do anything.
Yeah, like you gotta try. Like cry, like express everything you could. Her just sitting there being like, nah. Like,
it's whatever. I know I'm gonna lose.
And
it's like, imagine a season where people just vote you in to elimination, like because you're on the outside. Like, yeah. I don't know. It's very confusing. Bayleigh, obviously the bunker got to her. Swaggy not being there, she just almost had a panic attack, and we saw her almost have a panic attack, and she just needed. Her back was against the wall the whole episode.
Yeah, I think somebody even said you're against the wall. She's like, no, it's not. It's like, yeah, it is.
She's like, how is my back against the wall? It's like, how is it not against the wall?
Look at you, you're falling apart right now. Like,
how is my back against the wall?
Yeah. Oh, wait. Oh, okay. I mean, there's a lot about this, but how about when Kaycee was like, we just vibe out, and Banana's like, describe vibe out, and Kaycee says she kissed my bleep.
She was like, yeah, Kaycee slips, and instead of saying kick my bed, she was like, she kisses my bed. I mean, kicked my bed.
No.
What'd she say?
No, she said she kissed my bleep.
Did she?
They bleeped it out because whatever she said was apparently inappropriate, but she said Nany kissed and they bleeped it.
My ass?
I don't know. I was thinking like dirtier than that, but for them to bleep it, I don't know. You're right. Maybe it was ass.
I don't know.
I know on Instagram, everybody was like, what was the bleep? Like, everyone wants to know.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that slipped past me then. And Kaycee, this whole episode was very respectful, it seemed like to me. And it could have been her manipulating, her being a player, but she seemed she had her head on her shoulders, very calm, and she was saying nice things to Bayleigh.
Yeah, I don't know if I would use the word respectful. I would say she was being very calm and trying her best to be respectful, but I do get like an underlying vibe of manipulation.
Yeah, that's why I'm not fully. That's why I don't know for sure.
Like, I think Kaycee is obviously a really cool and attractive person, and I think that she's used to getting hit on, and I think she could maybe sometimes use that to her advantage or against people. Like, even her girlfriend on Instagram was, because I had to go on Instagram after this, and even her girlfriend was like, Kaycee flirts with somebody every day, or somebody flirts with Kaycee every day. Like, it's not a news to me. So I think that is a type of her personality. So she was handling it well, but I do think like there's a little bit of, she maybe was guilty for something and not owning up to it.
Yeah, I could see that.
Anyway, since we're talking about flirting, did you see that awkward clip of Bananas rubbing Nany?
Yeah, and I also saw Jenny laying down with like her legs all over Bananas. Bananas does have a girlfriend at home, and obviously Bananas, that could be part of his gameplay. I don't put it past Bananas to flirt with other women while being with somebody.
I don't even know, like, I feel like a lot of the women look at, or at least the ones on this season, look at him as like a brother, or like, I guess not brother because that's incest, but just like, I don't know. Like, he's just like, I don't know. If he was cuddling with somebody, I probably wouldn't even think twice about it.
Yeah, honestly, my head goes back to one of the reunions of when probably World of the Worlds 2 when Jenny was on it, or 1, I don't even know. But there was a rumor that Jenny and Bananas hooked up in a bathroom. They denied it. So that's what I thought when I saw Jenny just like laying on Bananas like that, and Bananas mad casual about it.
Bananas still seeing Morgan, right?
Yeah, I think so, as far as I know. You want to get into the daily challenge?
Let's do it.
All right, so the daily challenge was, I like this one a lot. It was called Blocked In, very reminiscent, basically a different version. Same type of puzzle, just maybe a little bit more difficult of a puzzle than a daily challenge on season 5 of the challenge.
Oh, yeah?
Battle of the Seasons aired in 2002.
And what was the challenge like there?
I could send you a picture. I probably should have before this podcast started, but it was just less cars, the same type of, only moving forward and back, and you got to get this one car out of the puzzle to win. And
Okay.
but the difference is on season 5, they had to drive the cars back and forth. Some of them were stick shift, some of them were manual or automatic. So that was really funny seeing people not being able to drive stick shift and just like messing up a lot, and them having to actually drive the cars, which was different than this episode being them having to push the cars.
Okay.
Yeah.
You better hope you have somebody who could drive stick on each team.
Yeah, because they were pairs. They worked as pairs on the season, Battle of the Season. So, yeah, if both of the people didn't know how to drive stick, they were going to take a long time or fail. And if they hit another car, they got DQ'd. So they had to be very careful. I honestly like that aspect. Yeah. But yeah, this episode, there's a red car with a bunch of black cars around it. The goal is to free the red car by pushing the black cars forwards and backwards. Sounds simple, but I could not do this for my life.
What do you think? Should we do it?
You could try. I tried, and a minute in, I quit.
All right, let's see. We can keep talking, but I'm gonna share my screen, and I did a little, my paint skills. So
you got skills, because I didn't do all this. I just tried to look at a picture and memorize where I moved which car, and then I just got flustered and was like, I'm done.
Well, the first thing I did was I actually built it with paper, and I was like,
yeah.
And then I don't know, it wasn't working. So then everything kept moving around. So, I mean, I'll do what I can here. We'll see what happens. And
yeah.
You can keep talking about how the challenge went.
Yeah, so Team 1's strategy was basically just Rogan as the puzzle master, and nobody else was allowed to talk, except Bananas.
What do you think about them choosing Rogan? I thought that was odd.
Rogan must be confident in puzzles. I think we mentioned it before. Rogan took the lead on a previous daily challenge puzzles. Rogan seems to be cool, calm, and collected, and he probably volunteered, and they probably all agreed. But I thought it was so funny that every time a girl tried to talk, I don't know if funny is the right word, but Jenny tried to, say something, they shut her down, Anissa shut her down. Everyone, shut up, shut up, shut up. Rogan's like, we can't get this red car past that. And Johnny's like, yes, we can't, but you know how we could, and then just goes on this long rant about the puzzle, and it's like nobody's telling Bananas to shut up.
Oh, man.
How you doing over there?
I almost got it.
I haven't watched it at all, but I'm sure you're not cheating.
No, I'm not. I'm almost done.
Let me know, audience, if she cheated.
No, I can't cheat. Yeah. No, but
also, go ahead.
No, Jenny was being mad and she was annoying everybody a lot. All right, I'm about to.
Yeah, and even I don't blame her for trying to step in, and because if you see something, say something. That's how I feel like it should be played.
Got it. Woohoo!
You.
So that took me
you should be on a challenge.
I would love that.
Yeah, but Jenny, but the only thing that was annoying me really with Jenny was when they were moving the car, she was like, I told you guys, she kept chiming in, and then this one there, I know, I told you.
Although it was annoying everybody and maybe annoying in general, I like a challenger who is trying to participate, as opposed to you have some people who are just like, oh yeah, fine, I'm cool with sitting back and letting, she thought she knew it, so whatever.
Yeah, and also maybe the quote of the daily challenge. I didn't know this was true, but apparently too many cocks spoil the broth.
Is that what she said? Right. I thought she said that.
Well, she said cooks, but her accent said cocks.
Yeah, I thought the same thing, and I was like, oh, that's.
And I haven't had cocks in my broth, but I'll take your word for it, Jenny.
Ew, cock soup. Oh.
Too many cocks. That was hilarious.
So the overall, you think that not the best strategy?
I thought so going into it, but I mean, they won.
Yeah.
And it seemed like Team 2's strategy was what I thought should have been Team 1's, which was just chime in whenever you can. If you see something, say something.
Yeah.
Obviously, that can work to your disadvantage if somebody, you know, moves all these cars and it's like, oh, screwed. Oh, shit, like I screwed up. Now we're trapped. So I understand, but
talking could get, I don't know. I guess it doesn't matter because the one that won was the one where it had one.
But do you think, always in the back of my mind, when they don't give us the times especially, did they just want Team 1 to win more?
I agree. I really, really don't like, and they've actually been doing this more and more as seasons go. They used to do it a lot, like previous seasons, like, but I'm talking way back. You would get some actual data, you know. Now they don't give you anything. They don't give you times. Even when they were doing the weights of the thing, like they didn't tell you what the weights were. They just told you, they'll tell you the difference of the top two teams. But I don't know about you. I want the results. I want to know, like, how bad did one team do? How good did one team do? Like, why do you think they don't put that information out?
Honestly, to, you know, control the narrative if they have to. I hope it's not the case.
So I have a feeling that, and I thought the same thing, that they made Team 1 win because, and you know how the teams were randomly selected?
Yeah, and the teams have been randomly selected all season, and it's almost like the friends get paired together. It's always like Bayleigh and Dee and Swaggy or...
Well, the way that I looked at this is I felt like it was very scripted or like played out, where Nany was, you know, the three people without the red skull. Nany was on one team by herself, and then Melissa and Bayleigh were on the other, and they intentionally put Nany on one team, intentionally let that team win because they want to see Nany try to make it to a final because...
Or they wanted to see Kaycee make the decision between Melissa and Bayleigh, because it wouldn't have been as interesting if the decision was between Nany and Bayleigh, because Bayleigh would have understood more, even though it did come down to a decision of what Nany wanted versus what Bayleigh wanted, because now in elimination.
I think they wanted to solidify Nany being able to go into the elimination, so they let her team win, and she was the only girl on the team without a red skull. I think that was very intentional. I think MTV wants to see Nany make it to a final because she's been trying for a long time, and I think it was very intentional.
Yeah. There's no holes in your argument.
Conspiracies.
Challenge conspiracies. I mean, it could be very true. I hope it's not. 13 seconds apparently separated the two teams, with Team 1 winning being Bananas, Corey, Jenny, Josh, Anissa, Rogan, and Nany, making up the freaking tribunal, a 7-person tribunal, the biggest tribunal we've seen this season so far.
I will say before we move on, I thought Bayleigh did a great job in that challenge. She really stepped up and...
Yeah, and if they won, that would have been a great argument to nominate herself instead of Melissa. And that could be another conspiracy.
But why couldn't that have been her argument during the house vote? I helped you guys almost, I was one of the only ones. I don't know. Just anything, Bayleigh, anything.
Anything. It was, she, at the end of the episode, Bayleigh's like, Nany, this challenge isn't made for you. And it's like, it certainly isn't made for you either, Bayleigh. I've never seen somebody cry and freak out so much, honestly, that I could remember.
She doesn't get the challenge. And I think that we are challenge fanatics, and we have an idea of how we want our competitors to treat challenges or the challenge. and she doesn't get it. And even though, like, dare I say, D on her rookie season, she was able to adapt and evolve and pay attention, and she really just like picked it up pretty quick. And I don't think Bayleigh is picking it up. I don't think she's kind of like, there are different, like the challenge is a different world, it's a different beast, and she's just not evolving or adapting. And for that reason, I don't care for her as a competitor. I do think she could be good at competition, like at a challenge. But.
Yeah, this rookie class has been one of the worst, if you ask me. Jay is the only shining light in my eyes.
Jay irked me too.
Oh, you didn't like his face. Yeah.
I just didn't like his face. I know that's terrible. And then not even in like I think he's ugly. Like, I don't even think he's ugly. I don't know. His face bothers me.
It's a punchable face?
Yeah, like I just want to punch it. So, anyway, yeah, 7 people in the tribunal. A little bit of an overkill, if you ask me.
Yeah, because then at the elimination, it was like, oh shit, like this season's coming to a close. I only see 7 people up there. Then you see 7 people like all crowded up.
So stupid. But
yeah, I mean, we went over most of this. Kaycee makes it clear to Nany that she has her back over Bayleigh's because she's closer with Nany in this game.
Kaycee did have some really, really good arguments or comments that she said to Bayleigh, where she's like, listen, Bayleigh, like, I love you as a person, like, you're my friend, but this is a game, and you haven't done anything to help yourself in this game, and I have created all of these. So she's like, I need to do what's best for my game. And I think that here's another example. Kaycee is adapting and evolving and understanding the challenge, and she's doing what she has to do. And it's not even that terrible of a thing. Like, Bayleigh still might.
That's why I think the bunker is, obviously torturing Bayleigh, and she just blew this so out of proportion. Hopefully she comes back from it next girls' elimination.
Before we move on to the club scene, there was like this very, very short clip of Jenny rubbing Banana's belly with an oven mitt.
When he was doing his pregnant.
Did you see that?
Yeah, him and Jenny have a great friendship, it seems like.
So
that's one ally you want on the female side, so good for Bananas.
I was just like, oh my god, ew, what are you gonna do? It looks so gross. Oh man. So
yes, we did nominations, we did all the Kaycee and Bayleigh drama.
Yeah, I guess like the club scene is really just more of the Kaycee and Bayleigh drama. So
although Mel did give a badass toast to all her haters and all the people who voted for her. That was awesome. I was trying to look for a pregnant belly on that skin tight suit, not gonna lie.
Every time I see her, and again in the elimination, I'm like, she's pregnant right now. Like, that's all I think about. Okay, so I mean, another piece of the Bayleigh Kaycee drama is, and again, another example of Bayleigh just being a freaking mess, man. Calling, I know what you're gonna say. When she walked by Nany and was like, lying ass hoe. I'm like,
yeah, that, and then being proud of only screaming or tears.
Like,
she's like, no, I have 2 emotions, screaming or tears. Which one do you want?
Well, like, get your shit together, man. Like, this place is really tearing you apart. But anyway. And then one other thing that we missed about that drama. Damn, it just keeps going.
There's a lot of it.
What do you? Apparently, Kaycee said to Bayleigh after Swaggy left, "I wish you were in my bed."
Yeah, I don't believe that. I don't know that, because then Bayleigh brought it up and said that, and then Kaycee was like, "When did I say that?" And then she was like, "On Big Brother." So it's like, I was so confused.
Oh, they made it seem like it was a challenge, but maybe they were actually
talking about Big Brother, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, how about Bayleigh screaming in Kaycee's face for that long? Like.
Yeah, honestly, Kaycee, for her to sit down and just stay calm, like, that takes a lot.
I mean, obviously the passion is coming from somewhere, but I think that passion is coming from, like I said before, unresolved feelings for Kaycee or something. That's ridiculous that she got that mad over, like, what was happening.
And then Bayleigh dropped in, which I actually don't think there's anything wrong with this. Bayleigh was like, yeah, Kaycee will not have a girlfriend to go home to. I'm going to give Taylor a call. And she name dropped. I was like,
yeah. I mean, it is what it is. If you see what you see, and if you feel the need to tell someone, go for it.
Yep.
People know, especially with what we saw between Kaycee and Nany, very hands-on. I mean, it seemed like what you said, Kaycee's girlfriend knows that Kaycee does that, so it's not a problem or whatever, but...
She did make a couple comments like, yeah, whatever. I'm like, all right. But yeah, I mean, that was the club scene. More of that. And then we get to the elimination. How excited were you to see a rope ring?
See what?
To see a ring of rope in the elimination.
Yeah, very excited. And Melissa going in, I know she has an MMA background, which we learned again this episode. So honestly, I was really, the whole episode, I was like, I don't think Nany has this. I don't really think she has a chance.
Oh, no. No, it's straight in the beginning. I wouldn't be upset if I never saw Nany again in the challenge.
You know, just because she's not winning, Nany's still a good person to have on the challenge. She's just like a breath of fresh air of that person who isn't the most fit or isn't the most athletic and just hooks up with people and causes drama and pops off on people. We need that in the challenge.
All right, fine. Let me reword it. Nany is never going to win the challenge.
Oh, no, she's never going to win. She can make it to another final, but the only reason she'd win is if she's, like, partnered up or on a team.
Yeah, it would have to be like a team. But right away, I was like, if I had to put money on this, I would put all of my money on Melissa all day.
Yeah.
Like,
Melissa came in as the shorter person, a little less weight, but she is feisty and having an MMA background, having that technique really matters. Like
yeah.
The wrist control, body control really mattered in this elimination. It was literally a grappling match.
Yep. I do have some issues with the structure of the elimination.
Let me go over it. So you put jumpsuits on. On these jumpsuits are attached 5 red skulls. You have to do whatever you have to do to get the red skulls from your opponent's jumpsuit.
Yeah. And we saw this, we've seen this before, especially with the elimination with Ammo, which ended really sad. Yeah,
the difference was good call. Somebody else I saw on Twitter noticed that the difference was on the Ammo versus Jordan elimination, they were blindfolded, which I don't like. Now that I've seen this, I'd rather them not be blindfolded.
Well, there was also a big difference where as soon as you rip one off, that's the end. Where here, I thought that this was personally a flaw. You guys can both grab one.
Yeah, and also there was nothing said about, I guess this should have came with the territory, but being outside of the ring is dead. It's like, because he said in the rules, and put your red skull on the pedestal. But it seemed like if you had a red skull and you left the circle, you got that red skull.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be a race to the pedestal, like they both grab one, race to the pedestal. Whoever lands their red skull on their pedestal first gets that point.
Yes, in my opinion, each round, only one person should be able to get a point. Whereas, no matter if you grab the red skull first or put it on your pedestal first, if the other person did 2 around the same time, you were fine. I'm like, what?
Could you grab 2 red skulls off of your opponent's jumpsuit in one round? Because like that was Nany's only chance of really winning, other than not letting Melissa get her red skull and escaping the circle. It was very strange, especially when Melissa won and she got the red skull and TJ was like, all right, it's over.
Yeah, why didn't you have to put it on the pedestal that time?
Yeah.
That didn't make any sense.
Yeah, it didn't make any sense to me either.
It's like, come on, guys. You've been doing
I mean, it made for an entertaining first 3 rounds because we were going into it tied 3-3. But then Melissa, they were rolling, and Melissa was able to get a red skull off of Nany's jumpsuit, and then immediately after they rolled out of bounds, so Nany couldn't grab her red skull. So that put Melissa.
I really just don't understand why all of a sudden round 5 the rules changed and you don't need to put it on your pedestal. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, you could see it on Nany's face. You know, it just spelt doom for her once she was down 1. It was impossible.
Yeah. So potential to be a great elimination, but I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bit like annoyed by the structure of it. But yeah, I mean, either way, no matter what the structure of the elimination was, Melissa was gonna win.
Yeah, and Melissa seems to have a new fire lit under her booty. Says she's gonna go on the treadmill and actually train for this final. What do you think her chances are in a final?
Pregnant or not pregnant?
Well, I don't think she has a choice.
I feel like we haven't seen enough from her. Even like she's been on a few seasons, but I think she could do okay. She doesn't seem to complain a lot, right? That's one thing that she has going for her, because if you're a complainer, you're not going to make a final. And I feel like she doesn't complain that much.
And she seems like a gamer. You know, she'd be down to do anything. Well, you know, we haven't seen a lot of these British people eat like horse cock, you know?
Honestly, I feel like Melissa could eat a horse's penis.
Okay. You read that, you get that vibe from her?
Like, no, in general, I think she could eat gross stuff, because I don't get, like, she, like, again, and it falls back to her not being a complainer. Like, I could see her just being like, okay, this is what I have to do and I'm going to do it. Where you have some whiny competitors, and she just, to me, doesn't feel like a whiny competitor. So I think she would do whatever she had to do the best she could.
Yeah, that's exactly what I look for when I see a rookie go into the challenge house. I'm just like, could that person eat a horse cock? Could they not? You know, what vibe am I getting from them?
Yeah, it's definitely a good, like,
Yeah, I think Melissa has a shooter's chance to win. I think she could pull up an upset. She's a small girl. She probably can run for a while if she trains like she says. Not much strength is usually needed during a final. It's more like just heart, will, endurance.
Yeah, mental and endurance, like just having that drive and then the endurance to stay up.
Yeah, to keep going. Yeah, so good for Melissa. I'm a big fan of Melissa. She's also gorgeous. I don't know. She's like a Barbie doll.
Yeah, but honestly, like when she talks, I usually have no idea what she's saying. Like,
yeah, but I'm there.
Heavy.
Yeah.
No, she's pretty though. She's alright.
That wraps it up. So like you said, we have 2 more guys without red skulls, being Josh and Kyle. On the next on, you know, it's just like a broken record. We hear Josh say, "I'm so tired of it. I just want to go in there and get my red skull." Do you?
The opportunities you did. Wait, real quick, I just had a thought. I just had 2 thoughts. One, is Melissa going to be the new Barbie Beast?
Oh, I think she already took Barbie Beast.
Damn. 2, why did nobody tell me that Jenny has an equally hot and fit twin?
So I did know that. I probably should have told you, I guess.
Why didn't they put both of them on this season? Because that would have been wild.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, if they have another Bloodline season, holy crap, give them the check.
I mean, and they both compete like
CrossFit, maybe.
No, I don't know. It looked like what do you call? I don't know. They just like were wearing Speedos and we're all like muscly holding a reward or an award.
Maybe they're world's strongest women competitors.
Like bodybuilding type of, that's what it looked like. It looked like bodybuilding or something. But yeah, needless to say, they're both ripped and they're both gorgeous. And I'm like,
maybe down the line.
Yeah, that would be sick. We did have twins a couple seasons ago, but one of the twins got off the first episode.
Yeah, the Nolan twins, Liz and Julia, I want to say. Yeah, they didn't get invited back. So yeah, we do need a new, fresh pair of twins to see how they do on the challenge. I don't know. Do we?
I don't know.
Yeah, but that wraps up the episode. Thanks for joining us. Please like the video if you liked what we were saying, or even if you didn't like it. Comments, let us know why you hate us so much.
Yeah, also please comment and let us know what you think about Tom's hat. Is it a yay or a nay?
I mean, I got too much hair going on, so I'll just finish up the podcast like this.
Yeah, dude.
Hey, let's up, everyone. Thanks for joining us at ChallengeXpress. Choo-choo. And we'll see you next time.
Deuces.